First off, I'm not someone who's into politics. I don't really research it. I don't spend my time trying to look at what Trump or Hillary is doing or what any president is doing. But there's also a reason why I choose not to get so sucked up in this world, is because when I get so lost in the little details of what he said or she said, I lose perspective. Perspective is really important, and that's what I think we actually need as a human race, basically. Now here's a perspective. Instead of asking, what are they doing? Instead of microanalyzing what's their grand plan for humanity, why not ask ourselves, what is our plan? What is the people's plan? Forget about what they're doing. Not saying it doesn't affect us, but the more we put our energy and attention there, the less we're actually using our creative energy to be the change ourselves, to work amongst one another and start, whatever grassroots initiative or whatever small actions we can do in our small community to start having an actual impact on the world around us. They are not afraid of us fighting among each other or trying to find the absolute truth of what's going on behind the scenes and driving ourselves crazy trying to do that. What they're afraid of is us looking to each other and starting to talk about solutions, starting to work together to create something different. And for us to get to that creative, cooperative space, we can't be in a state where we fight, where we're violent in the street and we're, setting things on fire. They thrive on that chaos. It doesn't matter what the chaos is about. It can be a chaos in the streets that's against the government. But if it keeps us in the state of anger and fear and separation, we're still conquered. They're just going to up their security, they're going to bring out more cops, then there's going to be even more fights in the street between cops and people, then we're all going to, want to kill each other. Is that really constructive? So we have to understand they're not so picky about the facts. They're picky about energy, because if they can control our energy, they can control our actions. They know that, if we're in a state of fear, of separation, of anger, we don't get creative ideas. We don't look to our brothers and sisters to cooperate. We're busy trying to pick a fight. So they don't mind what we're arguing about. They mind about the energy that we're in, because in a negative energy, we don't create positive results. In a good, calm, grounded, peaceful, wise space of being, then we get more creative. They're just mind-fucking us. They're just trying to have us watch this soap opera of politics and just talk about them instead of to each other. Talk about them instead of going within, asking ourselves, how do I want to live my life? What kind of impact do I want to have? What person do I want to evolve into? What do I want to create? These are the questions that scare the shit out of them. But you know what? These are also the questions that scare the shit out of us. Because going inside, it makes us freaking vulnerable. We have to face things about ourselves that we may not want to face. Fears, insecurities, deep buried emotions, or whatever are our blockages and beliefs that prevent us from being our greatest expression, from doing what we came here to do, from following our calling. Change is going to come from our own lives, our own choices, our relationships with one another, how we work with our community, to make our own community a better place. If we can't even get our communities right, our own lives right, our own families right even, how are we going to, reflect that into the world? If we don't realize that state of being also matters, then we're never going to project anything different, because really the external world is a projection of all of our combined states of being. So I hope that this whole political circus can serve as a reminder for us that change won't come from the outside, that the revolution is a very personal one. And this should be exciting. Of course, it's a little scary to go inside and ask ourselves the real questions, but it's exciting because it puts us back in the driver's seats of our lives. And it makes us more aware of how we feel, of what we want to do, of how we want to express ourselves and create. Isn't that exciting? It's only because we've been conditioned to have our awareness everywhere else than within that it feels a bit awkward at first, that we don't really want to take responsibility for ourselves. But, it can be really exciting. It's a tough journey. It's bumpy in the same way that it's bumpy is in the collective right now. It gets bumpy inside when we try to, get ourselves straight and reconnect with it. But it's so freaking worth it. Not only for our own happiness, for our own potential, for our own lives, but for how it will impact everyone around us and how it will ultimately impact the world. So, this is my message. I have goosebumps right now. It's been a crazy, it's been a crazy day, crazy past few days. I was not clued into the whole political thing at all, but I think it's a good opportunity to remind ourselves of the basics, because if we don't get the basics right, it's like trying to build beautiful world over a very weak foundation. We are that foundation. Alright, dropping the mic.